Hello everyone and welcome to the Grove. My name is Hawk and today I'm doing a ramble video about something very topical. Because I didn't do it last week due to having not learned it until after I uploaded last week's previous video. So, last week's video. Regardless, today we're talking about the age verification that's coming on August 13th, I think? If it's wrong, I'll put on screen. And yeah, it's just technically it's an AI making a decision that if you need age verification on your channel, on your YouTube account, and that I don't think it's necessary. Like, I understand the concept is to hopefully not have kids going, like, being on the platform, but first off, we have literally YouTube Kids. We already have a platform that is for YouTube Kids. Why they don't promote that more, I don't know why. You literally might be able to get more users on that platform if you promote it, so why are you just neglecting it? Because it looks like you're neglecting it for not actually doing it, promoting it. That's two. One, and then, yeah, so that's two, that's one. Numbers got mixed up. But part of it is also parents can, I think it's the parents' fault if they choose to, like, not, like, have their parents on the platform, because first off, YouTube isn't meant to be the parent of your child. It's part of the internet that's meant to be for more older people. Like I said, we already have a platform for YouTube Kids. So if kids are accessing that content, then it's the parents or other adults in their life not actually taking accountability for trying to get those kids to watch the stuff that's for them. It's not teaching them, hey, certain things aren't for your eyes, so don't look at them. Which is also just reasonable, which is a good thing to just teach in general, because some stuff on the internet may not be for you for other reasons. Maybe you're just squeamish against certain horror, for example. For example, one of the things that I don't necessarily like watching is slapstick, because I just physically recoil when something gets hurt. It doesn't happen all the times, but it does. But that means that I just don't interact with that type of content, or I don't interact with certain pieces of horror because they're too gory for me for the same reason. So being able to teach a kid, hey, there are some places on the internet that are not going to be for you, and in this case, it's about due to your age, then that's a good thing to learn. Because especially when they're older and they're adults, they're like, it's going to be in the opposite direction, where, hey, you shouldn't go on to this area because it's not meant for you, you're too old. That is also a good thing to learn. So not only are you not taking the correct steps in like parenting your kid and not allowing them to, like, if you're not teaching them about, hey, these places are for you due to your age, like, not only are you words failed my phrasing there, but basically if you teach them about, hey, these areas are not for you at a younger age, then it'll be a lot easier to adapt to say, hey, this area isn't for me at an older age. So my question, so it actually worsens your parenting, part of your parenting, if you're not taking that into account, which is, you know, not helpful to yourself or to others. So it's like, oh, we're gonna do. It just decreases the agency for the kid to not take. It forces the kid to not take responsibility. It's the helicopter parenting problem, where if you don't teach your kids the skills to do things on their own, then they're not going to be able to, well, do those things and adapt to situations. So that's one thing I'm annoyed where it's like you're forcing all the adults into the internet, depending on your child, and that's not a good thing. So why it at least feels irresponsible, but that's mainly because it is. So I don't necessarily agree with everything YouTube is doing because no. But I also have a concern, not just because of how this will affect kids in general from the lack of proper parenting or instruction. Let's go with instruction. It's also just because personally, I don't want to give my personal information to YouTube. I want to keep that private because for safety reasons. And there have been concerns about like, hey, is our data going to be safe? Which is an important part of the conversation, because if you don't believe that your data is going to be safe, then why would you give it to somebody that just that means you have to either risk being irresponsible and possible identity theft for this thing, and it doesn't. It's not good. Like, I wonder if YouTube is going to just like no longer be a viable platform for any viewing content because of it. Where we're just gonna have a duplicate of YouTube Kids, and then YouTube's gonna complain. It's just like, why isn't people going to be on our platform? When it's like, well, you don't exactly like help creators at all. So why would anyone be on your platform? And the viewers itself, not just creators, but the viewers themselves. So I wonder if part of this it's going to cause a different YouTube-like platform to grow due to this. And in that case, one, is it going to be something like Nebula, which already exists, but that's more educational? Or is it going, and you have to pay for, I believe, or is it going to be some other new platform? And if so, how is that going to turn out in the long run? And the answer is I don't know, especially since I didn't think about this until making this video. So it just one of those things where this is going to be definitely an interesting time. It's going to be like whatever, the first apocalypse or whatever, where it's definitely going to shape how YouTube operates. I don't know if it's going to like actually, I don't think it can be rolled back. I wish it could, but I don't know. But due to the pressures that YouTube has, I don't think it's going to be rolled back. I don't think that there's a way to like apply pressure to YouTube in order to not need that again. I don't know. And for me, the third part of it is that I not only watch content, but I also create content. I'm literally creating a video talking about this. So, what... And it stinks because what do I do if I need age verification to continue pursuing content? Because I love this. It's a wonderful hobby, and I also am hoping to apply for staff team on a server, a role-playing / building content creation server. And what's gonna, like, will we have to abandon our project because of that? Because we're YouTube Kids, and maybe the themes that we want to explore isn't going to be good for YouTube Kids, like kids. I don't know. I don't want. Do I have to start putting like heavier topics in my videos? Am I going to have to start allowing swearing in my videos, which is okay, I guess. But one of the reasons why I don't like swearing in my videos is because it's a couple reasons. One, I just don't like swearing in general, and so just think it's nice to have a clean space that you don't need to worry about. And I've been very thankful that the other members of Camp Grass are like try to police their words for my content. I really appreciate that. And part of it is, one, not only because I like to swear, but because I don't like to swear, just for personal reasons. And then, but also, I remember distinctly something that viewers said, commented for, what was it? It was Bad Boy Halo, I believe. And it was because Bad Boy Halo, because he doesn't he's pretty clean himself in terms of what he says, and then also because like with other people trying to get that also be clean mouthed in the sense of not swearing and stuff, that viewer was allowed to watch their videos around their parents because they either wouldn't get in trouble or it'd just be less awkward. And I want to be one of those people, but because I play Minecraft and because I have like no swears in my videos, is that going to dictate like, oh no, your audience is specifically teenagers, clearly, or kids? Does that mean it's gonna force me to like change my style of content so I can have it actually where the target audience is, which are actually older folk? My content is actually supposed to be aimed for young adults because I don't know if there's a lot of content that actually speaks towards young adults. And so that's sort of what I want to emulate. Because I remember being back in, let's see, what is it? Back in, it's like 5th grade, 6th grade, and not having good reading material because I was at a very high level. I was at like high school level reading, but where I was in maturity level, it wasn't actually, actually good for me. There are limitations on what I had accessibility to. And while there are things that are geared toward middle school, like in terms of clean content, there isn't for people like me who enjoy more clean content. So, like, I feel like I fit this niche of what I would want to watch, and not everyone would. But I'm worried that because it's the type of content I produce, I won't be able to like I might have to change that. Like it would shift. YouTube will think it's actually for an earlier audience, earlier age group, which is not correct. And I do always put, hey, YouTube, this isn't for kids. I manually decide that on my videos because I don't want them shown to kids. I want the comment section. I want to see the comment section. I want to get engagement with my community. I want to be able to have more deeper themes than just whatever kid content has. And I don't want, so part of it is just I'm worried about how am I going to have to change my content just because exist in the space that I wanted to cultivate, or that I straight up won't be in the space that I can cultivate. I don't want to change my content. That really is the issue here. So like not only do I not want to, so it's just in terms of being a creative, it's like, do I have to change who I am that way? And I don't want to change myself. I like what I'm doing right now. I find it very enjoyable, and so I'm annoyed if I have to fit some sort of niche. And then I also am annoyed that like just to watch my own the content that I like to watch, which is like Minecraft and gaming videos. Am I going to be selected as, oh no, you're actually a teen, even though you've had your YouTube account for over, I don't know. I don't know how long it is. I just know that I've had this account since I was at least 14. So I've had it for, yeah, at least a decade. Like maybe even bordering on 12 years. So why does, like, not this no, not this specific YouTube channel, but like my main account at least, where I do watch videos and stuff. So just what is gonna happen? My worries are like, what is gonna happen with my personal content? Like the content I watch, the content I produce, and then is this actually going to be beneficial for the kids, or is this just going to be a mistake? Because I don't know if it's going to be beneficial for the kids, because it's you're also limiting the information that they can achieve, like not achieve, but consume, which in some ways is good. I'm not going to deny that being like hiding certain content wouldn't be useful, because there's certain content that, again, kids are not supposed to view. At the same time, there's also certain content which they might find helpful, such as concepts of being trans, so that they can understand themselves better, that are definitely going to be hit by this, because that's always what happens. Those with sexuality and trans topics, those get hit because they're seen as adult themes, but they're not. Teenagers have these feelings. Children have these feelings sometimes. Like, one of my memories is literally me double checking if I'm a girl and having to double check with my parents because I didn't have an internal sense of that. And I had to figure it out logically rather than actually having an identification with it. And I don't have an identification with it. Am I going to be saved because I'm forward with my non-binary identity, with my bisexual identity? Is that going to be the one part that saves my content from being, like, not in the space for kids? I don't know. I don't necessarily want I don't think my content needs to be age gated, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know how everything's gonna turn out, and I'm worried it's not helping anybody. So, yeah. Well, since I have a little bit more to go on this run, quick thing, I do know about the MasterCard and Visa thing for Steam and itch.io, and I don't think the censorship is very good, because I definitely agree with people who think it will be abused towards LGBTQ topics, and, you know, being part of that community, and who believes those are stories that would need to be told. I don't think it's gonna be good. I feel like it's gonna take too far, and so I don't like the censorship. Because there are certain things where it's just like, yeah, maybe there are certain games that take off, because especially if they're show things that are illegal. At the same time, being able to be who you are in a video game, it's just, for example, if say a person is playing an adult, let's say they're around my age, so let's say 25. Say it's a 25-year-old playing a game about, I don't know, playing something like Baldur's Gate, and they end up choosing a romance option, which, let's say they want to be in love with Shadowheart or something. Like, depending, like, certain scenes may require it to be removed from Steam because it's for sexual gratification. So, oh wow, I have my time there. It just, that's, like, that has to be removed from the platform. But that's already, isn't there already stuff in place for Steam to have it where only certain players can access that material? It shouldn't, and it goes back to the parents needing to have responsibility with their kid, because they shouldn't be age verifying for their kid. Like, the whole point this step is in place is so that the kid can't access it. If the parents allow their kids to access it, it shouldn't be the platform's fault. And this censorship is sort of making it where you can't, or it's not on the parents. It's not the parents neglecting their children. It's the platforms neglecting their duties as like a public entity on the internet. And that's so I want to say stupid. Foolish might also be an accurate word. Um, because it means that a lot of people, that the people who control the internet can have whatever they want as their narrative. And it just means that we're going to be in an information bubble. And how is that helpful? That means propaganda in either direction, if it's negative, is really easy to produce. And that's not helpful for anybody. So, yeah. I just don't agree. I think it's going to just turn out worse. It's just making the internet worse. Do I wish there were ways to make the internet safer for kids? Yes. Do I believe that this is the way to do it? Not really, because there are certain things that are already in place. I remember talking to my dad one time, and he even brought this up where, like, there are things that parents have that are already laws, such as with the COPPA Act, where these things are already in place. Parents just aren't using those abilities in order to parent their children. And why aren't they using those? So it's just, I want to believe that the internet can be a safer place for kids. I don't think this is the solution because I believe it's not actually going to turn out well, and you're just sacrificing the adults in the equation. When it's the internet, it should be for everyone, and adults are part of that everyone. If you don't make certain spaces for adults, then you're not actually making it a place for everyone, because you're alienating part of humanity. And not everyone's, people aren't kids forever. They're going to be adults, which means the amount of time when they exist on the internet is going to be dictated the same for the rest of their life if you put these things in place. And sure, that's for everyone, but basically saying, no, you can only exist on the internet in this one way, and if you don't want to, then it's... I need to think for a moment how to... I know where I'm trying to get to, and I'm having a hard time getting the words out in order to express what I am trying to say. Because everyone is an adult, or is going to grow into an adult. You're a kid, and then you're an adult, and if you have these things in place, then it basically says, you have to give me my information, you have to risk identity fraud, and due to data collection being leaked, and you have to risk that in order to be an adult, basically. Which makes no sense, because we're told, hey, at least my generation that I was a part of, my group was told, hey, don't put personal information on the internet. That is a general bit of safety knowledge. Like, that's basic internet safety. And basically they're saying, well, they're going to have to if you want to engage with the content, and it's incredibly rude. It's incredibly rude in, like, lighter cases, in the best case scenario, and at worst, it's just damaging, and it's not actually making, like, America and I believe the UK might already have it in place. I don't know. But it's just making it worse. And The internet is supposed to be part of the free flow of ideas, and while I do agree there's some opinions which should be not just a debate. Why aren't you letting me? Which shouldn't be a debate and which should just be removed. For example, I don't support cyberbullying. I definitely think concepts such as that should be removed. At the same time, there are definitely topics which shouldn't be. So my question is, how is this going to affect the internet at large and how we consume content over the long range of time? So I'm just really concerned that it's just going to be the downfall. It feels like instead of Alexandria burning down, we're deciding to take certain scrolls out and burning those. History isn't just written by the victors, but by the scholars who allow books to be read. And the problem is that they want to be the scholars. The people want all of Alexandria to be for kids when it was never meant to be. And, well, I mean, yeah. Well, all of the internet, anyway, was never. I hope that, like, metaphor made sense. That analogy / metaphor made sense. Oh. Yeah. Well, those are my main thoughts. What's something I can ramble about before the end of this, like, line of me just playing Parkour Warrior? I will say this, though. I will be continuing to make content and everything as much as I can. I don't know what form it's going to take if I am affected somehow. So, I might make an update video at some point if I am affected and need to change path. But regardless, I've at least said my piece, and that is helpful. And why is this jump so hard? There we go. No! Why? Okay, got it. Wasn't even that far. But I did it! Woo! I did not just need to wait a bit. Anyway, I'm ending this video here because I've talked a lot and because I finished saying my thoughts. So I'm going to wrap up this video and then I'm going to go edit it so I can make sure it's out on time. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Ooh. But, of course, I hope you have a good day, night, whatever time it is for you. Hope to see you next time. Bye!